Hi guys, it's Angie and welcome back to my Flosstube channel. This is my channel about cross stitching and yeah, that's it. So if you are a returning viewer, I'm happy to have you back, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope you see something you like. This week I did a little bit of stitching. I kind of feel like I probably did bare minimum. Maybe it wasn't. I did enough to make sure my homework got completed, and then I made sure that I finished my extra credit. And I'm pretty sure I only worked on 3 pieces, and I need to look at my planner so I can double check, because I write everything I stitch down because obviously it has to go somewhere. So hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I feel like I'm really unprepared. It was kind of a last minute. We just got up. The heat's working, but it's like 67 degrees in this house. I'm freezing. So I'm a little scattered, but grab my planner. And as I'm looking at my planner, I realize why it feels like I didn't do a whole lot this week. I did a whole lot, but the thing is I did a lot of it on Monday, and then I filmed the video, so I showed you everything that I stitched on Monday, because I believe I stitched like, what was it, almost 1,000 stitches on Middle Earth. Was it? No. I did a whole lot of stitches on Middle Earth, and I did a whole lot of stitches on Dark Queen of the Seas, but I already showed you those. So everything else I worked on this week was minimal in comparison to that, because I was also running errands. We had to take my daughter to the doctor because her school, even though we're 100% virtual, keeps sending me the nasty grams each week saying she's due for her Tdap immunization and she can't be in school without it. And I'm just like, okay, we just moved here, and up until like a month ago, we didn't actually have a clinic or anything set up, so we couldn't take her in to get any of it. We finally got her an appointment, but the appointments are so late, so far away, that I had to email them, say she's getting her shots on this day. Can she still attend school at my house until then? But we got it all squared away, but we had to take her in, and that was a whole process. And you know, because with COVID and everything, she's healthy as a horse, which is great, but she's all up to date. Everything is good. But between that, getting ready for Halloween, running errands, you know, just doing the normal things, I didn't do as much stitching as I'd like. As far as receiving anything, I got my Sulky glowy threads in the mail, and I'll talk more about those when I get to there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in with my stitchy stuff, because I was gonna show you, I went through and I cleaned out my patterns and made some choices and decisions for what's coming up, and excited stuff. So first up is Mass Effect. I just said it out loud. My husband knows what it is. He totally does. He even confirmed it the other day, because he walked in as I was stitching this to tell me something, and I said, "You're not supposed to look at this." And he goes, "Look at what? I don't see anything." He knows what it is. It'll just be a surprise when it's all finished, because he doesn't know what the pattern's gonna look like, but he knows, he has a gist, because I'm terrible at keeping secrets, and because I stitch on this and then he just walks in when I'm stitching. Okay, so here is where I'm trying to make this less unwieldy, because I'm amazing at this. So here's where we're at. So at this point, I have all of these done. Yeah, and I had to substitute one color because for the life of me, I cannot find, it's either 208 or 209 anywhere. I have one more of these down here and some more words, and then I have a bunch of words and the alphabet part of the sampler. But I am adjusting the pattern. So I gotta get to work on this because I'm running out of time. And so I need to focus on this like on one day a week where this is all I work on, because I'm running out of time. I still have 2 months, and I mean, I'm sure I can pull it out, but If not, this is gonna be a Father's Day gift. Oh goodness. So that's where I'm at with that. I did work on this like all day one day. And I mean, these were not super, I mean, they're tiny, but there are so many color changes in each one. And it took several hours to get all those guys done. Because of, you know, some of them had like 5 or 6 different colors in them, which was crazy. So I got that. I worked on this one. This is my Ornate by Night Spirit Studios. I got a decent amount of work put in on this one. So here I am with this one. I'm trying to see if you can see any of the sparkliness. Maybe, maybe not. But this is the one that, this is a brown in here, and then this is an orange with a copper light effects, DMC light effects. So, and this stuff is not super easy to work with. I mean, most people who know light effects knows that. It's difficult. It's like Kreinik. It's hard to work with. However, if you get it set just right, and I go, for me, if I have it set just right and I pull it all the way through, because when I stitch, sometimes I will pull up and then I'll put the needle through, pull it a little bit, and then put it through again and then pull. So I'm getting the next stitch started while I'm finishing the other. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe I'll show you sometime. I can't do that with this because it tangles and it bunches and it causes issues. So I have to pull all the way, then stick my needle through, pull all the way, stick it through. There's no shortcutting with that. But if I do it like that, I get pretty even stitches. The last thing I worked on was mandala. I needed to finish a few things for it. I'm trying to remind myself which way is up. Fold the fabric so it looks somewhat decent. All right, so here is where I'm at with mandala. And so far, this is the only thing I've used any glowy on. And when I had it stitched before, when I was showing you, I was just using B5200, so it was quite a bit brighter. But you can see ghosty here kind of blends with the background fabric, kind of doesn't. So that's what the sulky, which came, the glowy, sulky glowy is what it's called. So it came, I ordered 2 of them, came on a little spool like this, and it's really, really thin. I think they said this was 50 or 80 weight, something like that. It only came in one size. So I couldn't, so it's, I mean, it's pretty thin. So I ended up using, I started by trying to use 4. So I just cut off 2 strands the same and then tried, you know, the loop method to start. 4 was too much. It was too thick. It was really, it wasn't working. So then I pulled that out and I tried 2, and 2 was not enough. So this is actually three strands over 2. I think the 3 strands works really well. You can see a little bit of the fabric in between, but I like that. I don't like it when it's so, I don't know. I have, Jordy, you're okay. I have auto alarms on my phone to remind me when each kid is supposed to be doing certain things for school, and it just went off. But I don't know if you can see the stitching on it. For the most part, I like the way my stitches look using the sulky with 3, but it's really finicky for me. I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but I mean, it's curly coming off. So I have 3 strands. They're all in different levels of wave curl, and they would get so tangled. They would just tangle with each other, and I would get knots, and then trying to undo the knots was kind of a beast. So it's not easy. It wasn't easy for me to work with. Probably just me. Maybe if I were to order regular, because I want to try using sulky, because my understanding is one strand of the suggested weight for the sulky threads is the same as 2 of your DMC strands. So I think it would be fun to try, but I don't know if it's difficult to work with. I hear people love it, so it'd be fun to try. But for now, I mean, I'm happy with the glowy. I don't know how well it glows though. When I picked it up, I had it sitting on the couch, and I have an LED magnifying lamp that I use, and that was on. And then we turned off the lights to watch a movie, and I could see them glowing off to the side. So I'm like, hey, my glowy threads glow, yay! But I haven't actually seen them on the fabric glowing, but I haven't looked either. So that's what I need to do. But that's it for stitching. So what I showed you last week with Middle Earth and Dark Queen of the Seas, plus these 3 things, that's what I worked on. I went through a cleaning thing, and so I went through and decided on a lot of stuff for stitching. So I thought I'd just quickly do a run through. I am still part of New Year, No New Starts. With what I have available to me, I feel like I will have no problem not starting anything. I could go the whole year. However, I'm a little bit concerned because I don't have Christmas patterns. I don't want to go through and start 300 things just so that I have them for next year. But saying that, I also don't want to count myself out. I don't want to just say, well, I know I'm not gonna fit. I know I'll start a bunch of stuff next year, because I don't actually really care to start anything else, but I'm gonna start a few things. But so I was just gonna quickly go over a few things. So I've got Dark Queen of the Seas, I've got the 2 Mirabilias, Garden Prelude and Stargazer, so those are definite that I'm gonna work on. I have my I've got them in my little project bag. So I've got my Hello Halloween, and I've got my Away We Ride, plus Ornate Halloween Mandala, and I have, as long as it's all on one piece of fabric, I can, so for my ornaments that I'm working on, I finished one ornament on this piece of fabric, but as long as I'm using the same piece of fabric, I can stitch more ornaments on it and it won't count as a new start. So I have all of those that I can use that I plan to stitch varying for Dark 13. So on the 13th of every month, stitch on a Halloween pattern. That way I won't feel like I bought all these Halloween patterns for nothing. I will still work on them each month, just maybe not as much as I did this month. But I went through all my patterns and I kind of got ruthless and decided on a few things. First, this is my Northern Nights. I am gonna start working on this. Semi-Sane has an event for December that has something to do with up north. This is perfect for up north. It fits almost all of the prompts. So I will get a lot of work done on that. It's been in timeout for a while, but I think I'm good now. I can't show you this because it's just the pattern, but I have my Grimm's Fairy Tale that I can keep working on. I have Mayflower Landing that at the moment I can't count. Mayflower Landing. At the moment I can't count this as a start because I only have like 100-something stitches on it because I haven't done anything for it. So I need to put some more stitches in that so I can count it and work on it this next year. I still have my Snowman's Kiss, but I got rid of a few and decided to start a few. So that's really what I was going to show you. Sorry, I'm pulling stuff out. So I did not get around to starting my Prairie Schooler Witching Hour. I have some fabric coming. I am going to start this before the end of the year. So on November 13th, that's what I'm going to work on because I do want to work on this. It's cute, it's fun, and I don't want to say that I bought this year and then didn't do anything with it. I have decided, is it this one? I think so. I need to put at least 200 stitches in this to start. Liberty's welcome, so I have this for next year to work on during July. I have the fabric for it and the threads are coming. I have Pandemic that I'm supposed to be stitching with Vicki, reading and stitching, and she and I are supposed to be doing this together. She's doing hers on black, and every time a color gets called, she stitches 100, however many stitches required for that color on Pandemic. I'm supposed to start that on this fabric. Haven't yet, so I need to start that because we're supposed to be doing it together. And then I picked this up. This had been in my wish list for forever, and I showed you this before, but I never started it, and that's Seeds of Freedom. And I really want to start this one too. So this one's gonna get started before the end of the year, and then I probably won't work on it again until closer to July. I have my Tilton Crafts Nightmare Before Christmas, the little nightmare. I know I showed you this, I won this. I'm really excited about it, but I don't know if I want to start it right now. I don't know if I'm ready for that. So at the moment, it is just sitting in here. I may or may not, if I get bored with all of the other many projects that I have, I may or may not start it. There were a couple others that I needed to work on, and I don't see them up here. And that's probably because they're downstairs. But actually, I think that might be all that I'm starting. But I did decide to get rid of a few. I tossed Nightmare Before Christmas stained glass. Every time I pulled it out to work on it, I was just, nope. I didn't want to. It wasn't translating to my fabric very well the way that I wanted to. So I decided I'm not even gonna mess with that. I have a smaller version of a stained glass for Nightmare Before Christmas that I may attempt to start later. But Nightmare Before Christmas, I said see ya to. I also said see you later to Avatar, because at all of the times that I could think of to sit down and work on it, I just wasn't in, I didn't want to work on it, and I kept thinking, yeah, nope. So in order to make room for ones that I really love working on, which are, you know, you see the ones that I really love. You know, I love my Long Dog Pavan. I love my Miras. I love Middle Earth. I really enjoyed Magic Study, and I have World Traveler that I'm going to start this month. I'm going to start World Traveler. I'm so excited. I have everything for it. And then I just, you know, Dark Queen of the Seas. That's a stitch along that I'm trying to keep up with. And then Grimm's Fairy Tales just released another one. And I am not keeping up with that, but that one's okay. And I have several full coverages, and I've got all these Halloween ones. And so I just really don't want to work on anything that I don't actually really love. And as of right now, those are ones that I just don't super love. So right now I plan to have, 4 more starts at least before the end of the year. I am gonna head to the needle workshop. I don't know when. Sometime this month probably. And just kind of check out their Christmas smalls to see if there's anything that just says, hey, this is another. I have a Kiss for Snowman, and I can use that for Christmas. I don't need to theme each month. I love Halloween. Halloween is it's my favorite thing in the world. I love Halloween. And so working on Halloween projects all month long was not a hard choice. It was not a it's my favorite. So that was easy. Christmas, I like Christmas, but I also am not gaga over. I want to hang things all over my house that are Christmas related. I did really like, I think it's Caterpillar cross stitch, is it? It's like a Christmas list. There's one with the reindeer, and there's one with a list of things that you want for Christmas. I do like those, and I'm tempted to pick up the PDF for one of those as a Christmas start because I think they're cute. If I can, I'll link a picture so you can see what it looks like. So I might order one of those or I might see if there's one. I like the way Blackbird designs. So far I like the way their patterns are. They seem easy and fun to stitch, so maybe I'll see if there's a fun little Christmas one there. I have toyed with the idea. I saw Jen Lee from 24 Hours Cross Stitch. Last time they did a 24-hour of cross stitch marathon. They were doing all of the Prairie Schooler Santas, and that was a cute idea. I don't know if I'd do all of them, but there were some that were cute. Just, I've thrown some thoughts around. Nothing's sticking so far. Speaking of which, there's another 24 Hours of Cross Stitch event this weekend, which is just perfect because this is my first week doing both magical stitches and semi-sane stitching, so there is an excuse to get a lot of stitching done. It's also one of my children's birthdays, so that's going to be fun. Yeah, so that's what I've done. And that's pretty much all I have. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I did get to go to church again this week. I was so excited. The way we've got it right now is that each week a certain, like the first week, or I don't know, they're breaking it up so that each week different, if your last name starts A through L, then you can go this day. And that way they break it down to a specific amount of people, because we can only have so many people in the building at a time. And you can't sit in, like, it's every other pew. You have to wear your masks. You can't do any singing. It's very, very, very rigid, the rules. But yesterday was the first time since March that I was able to go to church, and it was wonderful. It was really nice. My kids were less than thrilled. We were excited. So we did get to do that. And Halloween was interesting because our county here really was pushing no standard trick-or-treating, no door-to-door trick-or-treating. It was not a mandate. We couldn't. We were absolutely allowed to do whatever we wanted, but they were really pushing the, find an alternate way to have fun. So we were on the fence. Do we go out trick-or-treating? Do we not? We opted to try to have a lot of fun at home, so I made sugar cookies and we spent a good portion decorating it. We had pizza delivered, and we kind of did more than we would normally do for the pizza, and had that delivered and had that for a meal. And then my daughters got really excited, and so we went out and we bought crepe paper and balloons and glow sticks and banners, and I let them decorate the whole living room. So the whole living room, I mean, more than it already was. So we had streamers on the ceilings, and we had glow sticks in the balloons, and we did all that. And then we watched some movies while they practiced makeup, and then we had printed out a bunch of stuff because we were going to play some games, but we sort of ran out of time for games. My kids went outside. Once it got dark, they put glow sticks on and they went outside and played hide and seek in the outdoor, and I set a bucket of candy on my porch so that if anybody was, they could come and do that. It turns out our front doorbell doesn't work, so no, if anybody had rung the doorbell, we wouldn't have answered. So now we got to get the landlord to come fix that. It used to work, doesn't work anymore. And then around 8 o'clock, we decided we'd drive around the neighborhood and just see what was up. And a lot of people did kind of like what we did. They set up tables at the end of their driveway, and they put bags of candy out on a table, and you could just go take one. There were a few houses that were super decorated and had people still out. So my kids, I think we stopped at three houses where they jumped out of the car and went up and said trick or treat, and then they got to pick up a bag of candy. It was really, really low key, nothing like what we're used to. And then we came back home and we watched, I think during the day we watched Beetlejuice, and then we watched Casper. And then when the boys finally, they went upstairs with my husband, and the girls and I watched The Sixth Sense, because my daughter, she's 12, she hasn't seen it yet, because we try to keep them, we're careful about what they view. We just, there's, like, my 12-year-old hasn't seen Stranger Things yet, because I personally feel like it's got a few things in it that she's just not quite mature enough to handle yet, but 14 maybe, we'll see. There are certain things she doesn't get to watch, and there are certain things she does, but she got a kick out of Sixth Sense. And it was fun. There's a certain point, and anybody who's seen it, you all know what I'm talking about. There's a certain point where I'm not watching the movie, I'm watching her. And it was awesome. But that was our Halloween. And then yesterday I was going to take all the Halloween decorations down, changed my mind, and we ended up playing board games. And so we did, if anybody remembers the old game, Seen It. We played Harry Potter Seen It. Jordy, you're fine. And then we played, there's a game that's by Steve Jackson Games. It's called Munchkin. Munchkin is the greatest game ever made. I'm just going to tell you that right now. It's a card game. My dog he's not happy. He hears somebody outside. It's the greatest game ever made. It's a card game, and it's hilarious, and the artwork is hilarious, and there are a gazillion versions. It's the same game, just with different cards and different versions. So you have regular Munchkin. You have Munchkin Fu, which is karate. You have Munchkin in space. Okay. Super Munchkin. Munchkin Booty, which is pirates. I have a Nightmare Before Christmas Munchkin, and we just picked up, it's a deluxe version of the card game, and it's Harry Potter. So we played that as a family, and that was a lot of fun. And then if you've never heard of it, there's a board game called Telestrations, and my daughter, my youngest daughter, has been begging us to play it. And for some reason, every time she asks, we all go, oh, not that game. I don't know why. It's hilarious. So my husband went to bed, and me and the kids stayed up and played Telestrations. And it's basically telephone, but with drawing. So you have these little whiteboard books, and you get a card, and you have to write down what your word is. You write it down, and then you pass it. And then the person next to you sees your word, and then they draw it. And then they pass it. And then that person can only look at the drawing and guess what the word is. And then you pass it. And then another drawing. And then the more people you have, the funnier it is. And that's how you end up with somebody with the word seagull. And when they get their book back, somebody has guessed bird on fire. or some... We were laughing, so my poor husband couldn't get to sleep because of how hard we were laughing. It was so much fun. So Telestrations, if you haven't, it's a really great game. Obviously, really little kids who maybe don't know a whole lot. Like my son got gas cap, my 10-year-old. He's like, what's a gas cap? Okay, you don't know what a gas cap is. Or, but when he got the word paperboy, he actually drew a piece of paper and drew a boy on the paper, and he drew lines on and everything, because that's what he thought paperboy was. It was awesome. So it says it's for 13 years and older. Obviously my 10, almost 11-year-old, he did well enough with it, but it's a good game. So that's kind of what we've been doing this week, and it's been fun. But anyway, I think that's it. Today I have to run a few errands. I have to find our fabric store so I can start finishing the Christmas gifts for family, and check out Target, because usually they have their Halloween stuff on sale the day after. It's 2 days after, so they probably don't have anything left, but I'm gonna check it out anyway. And then clean up my Halloween mess, and then maybe do some stitching, because my kids have today and tomorrow off. So extra time. So that's it, and I will be back again next week to show you how 24 hours of cross stitch went, and if I get any goodies while I'm out, and maybe I'll get some finishes, who knows, I don't know. At some point I gotta do that. So thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you, and I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope you're not as windy as we are right now, because it is blowing and all the leaves are now off the trees. Not quite. But I have a lot of raking to do. We were gonna rake today, but it's so windy, it's pointless to rake today, so at least it's not raining anymore. Anyway, hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.